Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and who did come home. I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator, and I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you will learn to accept and receive the healing, the knowledge, and the wisdom of the universe. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, after I got done doing the video earlier this evening or last night or something, anyway, I realized that I just kept everybody hanging out the dog, my Mr. Duggar. And so he was standing at the door, waiting, patiently for me to let him in. And hey, Brick. And I wasn't really worried because I didn't hear any gunshots or anything. But then I realized, and I've had two people call me, did Duggar come home? And one of them was his owner, so a previous owner. So I'm like, and I had thought before I got the phone calls that maybe I needed to do a short video to say Duggar made it home. Everything's okay. So, but it was interesting that I came up with the title, excuse me, for the last video before I took Duggar outside about the hope and the fear. So it seemed to like fall into place that, I hope Duggar's okay and I feared that he didn't run off and anything. So, hey, Delaney. Hi, Michelle. This video is for you, Michelle. I've been giggling because I'm like, I'm going to do this video. Then I've had people call me and I'm like, I was going to do a video. Oh, okay. To let everybody know that Duggar made it home. Okay. So yes, LMAO, laugh my butt off. Yes. And I don't have much of an ass anyway, but anyway, I have been an ass for many years, but anyway, hey, Brick, Teresa, Michelle, and Delaney. Hi, Delaney. How are you? So, but in the grand scheme of things, and since some of you are coming on here, I also want to say thank you and blessings to each one of you because, after I did the video, I had this hindsight thing, like maybe I should check and see if Duggar was home before I logged off. Well, I already logged off, so I could go check and see if Duggar was back. And then after he came in and everything and blah, 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 I was like, I just left everybody hanging. Talk about a cliffhanger, right? And it wasn't intended, right? So anyway, but Spirit said, do a video about this. But also in this, I want to say to all of you, thank you. I know some of you guys, gals, folks hang out with me for hours on end and you participate between yourselves and sometimes you even listen. And I say that in tongue in cheek in that, anybody that will hang out and participate, even if they listen this much, there's a message for them. And so in discussing this with the universe, I'm always asking that, is the message getting across to those who need it? So, I've discussed my Mother Mary thing and what my mission was. And so in that, you folks are proof to me that that something good is coming out of this. And I'm humbled. I really am. There are times when I think about how many folks who are subscribers to my channel and how good you folks have been and calling and finding out if I'm okay and sending prayers to my friends and relatives and making sure that Duggar's okay. I mean, that's just wonderful. It absolutely is. And it's sort of a side benefit that I had never expected nor asked for. I just do things for the universe and the universe answers. So the fact that, you folks care well, I wonder what happened to Duggar. Well, I wonder sometimes what happens to you folks. And I send my prayers out every day. And I know there are folks who, well, does he really mean it? Yeah, I really do. When I wake up enough to like, okay, I'm not somewhere else, I'm here. My first thought is about everyone. I send my prayers out. Michelle and Alex, how are you? Good to see you. Teresa and the Brick and some of these new folks that have joined the channel recently versus some of you old timers, that have been hanging around for a while. Hey, Scratch, what you doing? I really do hope everything is as good as possible in your areas. And to reiterate what I spoke about before about the fear, in retrospect and in thinking and being awake about this, I realized there really is a lot of fear, and on so many levels. And we, as members of the Soul Tribe, as members of the League of Like-Minded Beings, when things start getting out of kilter, we can always come here and I understand that part of my job here is to try to be a grounding rod in a way. When things sort of get out of hand and folks don't know where to go, well, let's just have a discussion then. Let's just talk about it. And maybe whether it's me or you all socializing in the chat room and so forth, what matters is that we're making a difference. We're keeping each other sane, if that makes sense, because there are times that I have felt like there's nothing to really hang on to. The world is so outrageous and things are getting so crazy. How can I what is there to hang on to? How do I hang on? Is there any help out there to help me hang on? And the answer all of that is yeah. And you folks showing up and participating is proof to that we can do it. We are doing it. And so my questions to the universe sometimes, now a lot of it has to do with my mission. What do I need to talk about? What needs to be stressed? Is there anything in particular that, needs to be discussed or shared with with my friends and neighbors and anybody else who wants to come on and watch or listen to this program? That the message, and it's not my message. I know you all have seen me look up to the sky. I'm looking up, making sure that the messages that I'm getting and receiving, and it's happening in real time. It's like I'll hear them say, "Talk about this." Okay, and the reason I don't look at the chat a lot of times is because I'm listening. And the messages that are coming in, I'm giving it straight back to you. And they'll pop a memory in my head, and they'll say, use this as an example. And my other side, while I'm talking, is saying, like, you want me to use that as an example? Oh, okay, well, okay. And sometimes even to me, it seems like it's effective because I remembered it. And that's part of the remembering for myself, having had so much brain trauma myself. I got to go back over some things, but my intent is always pure. I am confident in that. There's been some really naughty, nasty things. Some people that I know and friends and so forth that just went on to the negative side. And there are times when I could make comments about them or, I realized that no, I have to see it, but ignore it. I have to ignore making comments because it would only stir up animosity, an argument. It would create more negative energy than, even though my intent would be to say something positive to try to change somebody's mind or give him another point of view. They're so stuck in their own paradigm that anything that I say would end up as a negative. And the more I'm here and the more that I observe the universe and people and interactions and so forth, the more it's important, because there are some folks, we are just not going to change their mind. And to have a discussion with them or to, to try to not necessarily sway them to your point of view, but at least acknowledge that there is another point of view. You know, there are some folks who are just so, I've met engineers like this. And that's why I made an effective engineer, because these guys were just stuck. Well, you know, this is how we normally do it. And I was like, okay. But because my normal was had been working in a machine shop making parts for all different kinds of people versus people who had grown up in an industry and were used to something being, well, that's how they've been doing it for years. Well, I don't want to change the whole design, but can we talk here? Can we change the materials? Can we change? And I ended up saving Prestolite millions of dollars over the many years that I was there. And but that was my job. So, but the thing is, though, in spirituality and things, what we need to do is, you know, everybody else, there's a conformed way of thinking. There's the conformist way. You know, if you don't believe in Jesus, then you're not going to make it. If you don't believe in the Bible, if you're not a Catholic, you know, y'all are going to hell. And I say, you know, you've heard me say this before, you know, every person that in a religion who is seeking more spirituality is a shaman in training. Okay. Because we're all seeking a higher level of spirituality. We want more in the afterlife. We want to be able to make that transition. But in that same conversation, though, people have gotten so narrow-minded in their thinking that only this religion, like a lot of Catholics, because that's what they say in the Nicene Creed, it says the one and only true church, the Holy Catholic Church. So it's like, hang on. It's the Apostles' Creed, okay? And it's like, even as a Catholic, I wouldn't say that line. I just got to there and skipped over it and picked it up on the other side when there was a prayer. Because I never believed that the Holy Catholic Church was the only way. It just never made sense to me. Because I kept asking, what about people, you know, what about the people in the jungles who've never met a priest or, you know, but they do their thing. Well, you know, they're animals, they're beasts of, they're doomed to go to hell. And I'm like, hang on, they're going to hell simply because they haven't heard about Jesus. And I was thinking, is God really that cruel? So I've had a difference of opinion all the way through grade school at Most Holy Redeemer, but more at Tampa Catholic, where, you know, as teenagers, and they brought up subjects and we discussed things. But I remember getting smacked for asking some of the questions that I did about religion. So, but anyway, the spirituality of us, I think there are some people who have just absolutely forgotten that they have a spirit, and they've given up on church. They've given up on, well, I tried to meditate and it didn't work. And well, what good does it do me, you know, to meditate? What good does it do me to pray for somebody? What good does it do me? Or what good am I doing to the universe? And they're so worried about like immediate results, when we all should understand that, like Hawk, that we have to be observant over a much broader area, meaning we have to take in other sights and sounds and, you know, cultures and beliefs. Now, I say beliefs in that the belief is of the one spirit. The belief is of the creator. That's the belief. And one of the other things I've discussed before, but is starting to come out a little more, is that, you know, the sky gods, a lot of old cultures have pictures of sky gods and stories about them. And so, but, you know, Christians can't believe in the sky gods, you know, because that's against their religion to believe that, you know, some of these, you know, spirits or angels or whatever could actually like fly in spaceships. And there are those in the native communities who are like, yeah, you know, they've been coming here for thousands of years. Yeah, we know. We understand it. And they have told us that at one day they will come back from the skies. You know, the Hopi and many of the tradition, the Navajo have stories about that. So, you know, why wouldn't it happen this way? But only the Christians believe he's going to come in on a cloud, which what hides these spaceships these days? Clouds. Just saying. So, but we have to keep our mind open. We have to be aware that there are things we do not yet understand. And churches, well, it's the mystery. It's the mystery. Maybe not necessarily. Maybe there is a truth. Maybe there are things that are real. It's not just it's a mystery because you don't understand it. And I've thought about this for years. But anyway, in all of this understanding, our communication between each other and in the cosmic world, you have to believe that we're making a difference, even in this chaos. Because I stop and think, you know, with all the people that I know of, even though they may be having trouble themselves right now, even with the trouble, they're still trying to stay positive. And I'm going to be here for you. Okay, I got your back in that respect, because I don't care how bad it gets. We're going to make it through this one way or the other. And some of us may not make it. But at the same time, our society hopefully will change after all this crap. But people will survive. Our peoples will survive. Certain cultures and traditions will survive. You know, a third of the population or half of the population might get wiped off this planet, but we as a collective will still survive. And for those of us who understand the greater sense of spiritualism, if we get destroyed in some catastrophic event that they keep trying to bring on us, we will have our spirit together in the confidence, and I'll see you on the other side. And we'll get with Brian and some of my other friends that have passed on, and we're going to have a party. You know, we're going to have an over there party. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so we can look forward to that rather than, you know, oh, we're all going to die. Yes, we are at some point. And how we get there and what we do along the way, that's what matters. So keep your wits about you. You know, I'm going to reinforce it every time I can. Keep your wits about you. The times and things, I'm at 68, I've not seen times like this. The most I can recall was back in the mid 60s when there were true race riots going on and bombings, and, you know, Detroit and, there's a community, Watts, out in California. I think it's a section of Los Angeles, and Watts was burning and all this. And so, you know, and people think that it's bad today with the cops. I remember back then when they were literally beating people senseless with billy clubs. And, you know, they still are a little aggressive. But if you look at some of the videos and the news clippings from back in the 60s, them cops were a hell of a lot meaner than they are now. I'm just saying, because them were racist bastards back then. That we still got racism, yeah, but I grew up in the 60s. I remember when there was a Negro water fountain and a whites only water fountain. Yep. J.C. Fields. In department stores, you'd walk in a department store and they'd have a water fountain. And, you know, it would say whites only. And you say, what? And so people try to compare today to then. There's no, there's no comparison, you know. And the black community bitches and complains that they don't have enough rights. Back in my day, you had to go to your own water fountain. Now, talk about not having rights. So have things progressed over the years? Yes. But are they looking at the good things that have happened over the last 40, 50 years? No. They're only focusing on the bad things. Well, we haven't. I agree. I've talked about police brutality, and myself, I have been brutalized by the police several times. And so it ain't got nothing to do with color, although the statistics do show that blacks have more higher. But anyway, but to the point though, in the old days, they'd take you out and hang you. Lynching all the time. I mean, so they try to compare today. Listen, we don't have lynchings, maybe once in a while, but not like it was in the old days. I mean, people used to have lynching parties, and it was like, come on, let's go have a picnic. They're gonna hang this nigger in the woods, and down everybody'd show up, you know. Um, that was tradition for some folks, and it wasn't just down here in the South either. But to the point, though, so folks now want to compare. Oh, we have it so bad. No, you don't. I'm just saying, in my lifetime, I've seen your culture grow. But there are those bad thugs and those people who won't give it up. So is the entire black community like that? No. But there are thugs. There are white thugs, okay? They don't act quite the same, but it's this thug mentality, right? And so how do we get out of this? We don't give it any attention. These rappers that are all about the thug mentality, we should not glorify that. That's what we should do. We should ignore it. Oh, look at this rapper and look at him. Look at all his bling and, the records that he's. No, if somebody's doing like that, then we should give them zero attention. I mean, I think about some of these black artists now, and I think back in my time when there was Harry Belafonte, and it was like, what? He was a crooner. Check him out, Harry Belafonte. Nat King Cole. Oh my God, Nat King Cole. There was other crooners and folks, and it's like they broke the glass ceiling for blacks in many ways. Sammy Davis Jr. And that he hung out with the Rat Pack. So there are folks today that go, we don't, this just white racism and white supremacy and all that. No, it ain't. If it was white supremacy, they would be hanging your ass on a lamppost like they used to do in the old days. Now, I don't want that to happen. Way don't want that to happen. But the fact that these people today don't know the history. They really don't know their own history of how much progress the black community has been made in my lifetime. The changes that have been made, the uplifting, the amount of folks who graduate a college, and all these other things. So it's like back in my day, there was only one or two black folk on a football team. Now it's like you look for the white guys. Are there any white guys on that team? I mean, I'm just saying. And they're all getting paid in the millions. And they all have these contracts and they're all doing this stuff. And it's like, listen, they have progressed. Yeah, they're playing football. And yeah, they're really good at it. And, you're getting paid millions of dollars. So what are you bitching about? Well, Black Lives Matter. Well, you're making millions. Why? I'm sorry. You've made it as other people have. So why are you throwing in this? We deserve better, and you already got it. Now, many of these players, and they do help out in their communities, and they make donations, but they also live in great big expensive houses too. One of the first things to do, buy a new car, buy a this, buy a that, okay, it's your money. But back in the day, they couldn't have been even on a football team. They wouldn't even been allowed in the college because that's the difference. And now there are all different races playing football. There was even, they're talking about Australians kicking now, and how the Australians kick differently than Americans do. And now Australians are playing, American football. Okay. So it isn't just about one or two people, but here's the thing. Go back over the history and look. And I say to these folks who want to complain about they're not getting their rights, you should really check and count your blessings. Yes, we can do better. Yes, we should do better, but it's not as bad as it was. So rather than trying to tear everything down, let's bring positive in. Quit this burning and all this Antifa stuff. You're just going to piss more people off. And, they got their attention, but it's backfiring in their own face. So let's, they can do what they want. I don't agree with it. In a way, I can understand why they think they deserve to be able to do this. And that's my point about this part of the conversation, is that they should check and look at, I remember folks that were, they're still black if they're still alive, but, I couldn't go to a diner with them back when I was in high school because it was segregated. So I'm like, but he's my friend. Well, but he's black. Well, actually, it was colored. Well, he's a colored boy. He's a nigger. Well, but he's my friend. Sorry, you ain't sitting there. He can go to the back of the bus, right? He ain't sitting in the front. And people think, I think about what it was as growing up, and I look at what these folks are going through, and I go, there's just absolutely no comparison. In my opinion, there is absolutely no reason for the violence. Back then, I didn't agree with the violence, but at least they had a point. Blacks couldn't vote. Blacks couldn't sit in restaurants. They had their own water fountains. There was something to bitch about and complain about. Couldn't get into schools, couldn't go to college, couldn't get these things. Now, and what do you complain about? Police brutality. And well, we don't have the same kind of opportunities that white people do. Yes, you do. You have more. Look back in your own history. Look back. But see, they don't want to do that. They want to continue to complain that they have been put down. Well, they're making it hard. I mean, I haven't, I don't consider myself racist at all. I am biased to stupid people. If you're going to be ignorant and dumb and stupid and do these moronic things and continue to do it over and over again, I got an attitude about that. But to say I'm a racist or anything, no, I've met some absolutely wonderful folks from all different kinds of religion or backgrounds and religions. And it's the people. It's not their color or their skin or their religion. It's the people. So, and, there are dickheads all over the place, men and women, and unfortunately, I know a few of them. And, it's like, why are you behaving this way? Well, because I feel oppressed. You're a gay person walking around flaunting your stuff and look at me. I'm gay. I'm gay. I'm gay. Okay, so you're gay. Well, but I'm gay. All right. So tomorrow they get up and listen. Everybody has to see that I'm gay and I'm out of the closet. See me, see me, see me. And these are relatives. And I'm sorry, but I just should I do videos every day and go, I'm straight. I'm straight. I'm a white heterosexual man. I like women. I'm straight. I need to do a video about how, wait, I'm straight. Oh, hang on. But people, like I said, I got relatives. That's all they can focus on. And it's like, stop it. Get off it. We know you're gay. Okay, good for you. Now, get on with it. No, but I'm gay and the gay this and the gay that and gay. To the point where it's like, I don't even want to talk to you, because that's all you're going to do. Men are horrible. Lesbians rule and, okie dokie. But I know a lot of men that if it weren't for them, you wouldn't have what you have. I'm just saying. So this idea, though, that we're against each other and the fear and everything, some of these folks I just want to slap. I mean, I don't want to beat them up. I just want to pay attention. Sort of like the old mule. Why was the farmer hitting the mule in the head with the 2x4? To get his attention. But so in this, many of us have tried the 2x4 routine. With what's going on now, a 2x4 is going to be useless, except maybe in defense. But if we're going to try to use a 2x4 to get somebody's attention about spirituality or this other stuff, they're not going to listen. Not at all. So we need to be very patient, very caring. And at times we're going to have to just take our verbal lumps and let them bless us up one side and down the other. And we have to just say, okay, sorry, that's how you feel. I love you anyway. What? But I just argued it. I just cussed at you. Yeah, okay. I'm just not going to, volunteer that kind of energy. So, but anyway, I believe I got off on a tangent from the dog, didn't I? But I believe that we are making a difference, and we need to stay strong. That's the biggest thing, and not following. When I try to stay out of the Black Lives Matter thing, in that I've given my opinion, I've put a few things very calmly on Facebook. I've shared a thing or two, but in that, I can't become, as much as their actions piss me off, I can't write it down. I can't discuss it, except like I'm doing now. But it has to be short and sweet as much as possible, because then I'll give into the anger and I'll give into but I have to point out, as a grown-up in the room, this behavior is just really uncalled for, folks. And those of us who are grown up enough to be able to see it, we need to keep our anger out of it, because these folks are little children. They're playing in the sandbox. Only problem is they got guns and bombs. But we need to treat them as, ignorant little children, in that apparently somewhere down the line, they don't get it. They don't understand. They've missed something. And sometimes it's internal. There are people I've known that no matter what, they're going to try to cheat and steal to try to be a little bit further ahead than the next guy. And to me, it's like, you need to be that. Go ahead. I just, things have come to me naturally, where I was made a director over the theater group. And there were people like, how did you do that? Because I was there, because I, volunteered, and because I did all these things, and I proved my worth, and then they hired me. So I did my apprenticeship up front, if you will, and then I got hired on as the director. So how do you do that? Well, sometimes you have to work for free. Sometimes you have to volunteer. And then at the end result, you find out, especially if you do a good job and don't go around bragging about the good job you did, just do it. It will come through. You might not notice it, but it'll come through. But that's having faith in yourself, faith in the universe in a way. But we got to keep this together. We just do. All right. So thank you all for your prayers, for me and for Duggar and for each other and for the friends and so forth that are out there that need them. So let's keep it together, friends. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm repeating myself. Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Delaney, good to see you. My grandfather-in-law was a coroner in Mississippi and Tennessee from 1950 to 2000. Yes, Emmett Till, right. And, he got beat up by the whites, and I think they hung him off a bridge, didn't they, Delaney? But she took her son and displayed him, opened the coffin out on the street kind of thing and say, see what these people did to my boy. Am I right about that, Delaney? Emmett Till. Yeah, I've seen several things over the years, and I'm old enough to remember that, you know, and what happened and some of the things. And you know, some of the story about some of these old Southerners. Now, there have been some really redneck, true mofo folks, and they'd lynch a person in a heartbeat. Of course, they'd also screw a goat, but you know, their mentality, just saying. And thank God some of these folks are dead now. But the idea, though, that it existed, and I've been living here in the South most of my life, and I'm here to tell you, it ain't nowhere near what it used to be. Nowhere near. So for people to grumble that it's, you know, we don't have these rights or things or whatever, it's just not true. They are not aware of the pain and suffering their fathers and grandfathers and great grandfathers and grandmothers, you know, went through, so they could complain now. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a clue. And they hear the stories, but yeah, but what about me? And what about our thugdom, you know? And okay, well, I have the right to do anything I want to. Yeah, but should you? You know, when I was working with the theater group and stuff, and I was trying to get more black folk in, and we did several shows that was, we did a show called Pearly Victorious that was written by Ossie Davis. Absolutely funny show. And I played old Captain Cotropy, which was an old sharecropper. You know, he was a plantation owner, and how his son was the younger generation. So I wanted to foreclose on all them darkies, and my son was like, "No, you're not going to do that. No, I don't agree with you, Dad." And I was like, but son, you know, this is how it is, and this is how it's always been, and the tradition. We're white folks, and they're black folk, and so in that, and I loved the character because I got to play the old mean white dude, and because I just ain't that old mean white dude would have done what Captain Cotropy did. But in the humorous part of it, you know, he finds out that his son has gone behind his back, sort of thing, and to undermine him and to help the niggers, you know, as it says in the play. And so, you know, we've done that down here in the South and performed it, and we had sellout shows for the performance. We got Florida A&M down in Tallahassee. We had folks coming up from Tallahassee and folks from Thomasville who participated. And back in the day, if you'd have said that there were going to be a bunch of black actors and actresses to do this play, oh my God, they would have closed the theater down. They would have shut it down. So have we made progress? Yes. Is there still work to be done? Sure. There always will be. You know, there's always going to be contention between people, and the people might be black. Some of them might be white. It's going to be their opinions that clash, not their skin, but they're going to use their skin as the excuse. And we just have to go above and beyond that. So keep it between the ditches, my friends. Teresa, thank you for the call and your concern. What are y'all talking about? Free flowing Dave. Yeah, there you go. You're welcome. Thank you, Delaney, and all y'all. Michelle, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Yep. And I did a video on that. But, you know, to this point, though, I might have to do, people need reminded of it, you know? Well, you know, I can do whatever I want. Yeah, but should you? You know, and that goes back to the honor and respect of the universe. And Lord knows I'm still praying for it. And I'm still hoping that folks will open their eyes to, you know, what honor and respect. And because some of these folks that are doing this Antifa thingy and the Black Lives Matter, if they really understood what Dr. King and all them folks back in the day were all about, they would not do what they're doing now. They just wouldn't. If they understood the bigger picture, they would not do what they're doing. But I continue to hope that there is still hope, okay, and that we can still overcome this. But if people are going to feel like an underdog and believe it, well, I'm the underdog, and you got to look at me, and I got to be pulled up. Yeah, okay. It doesn't matter what color. There's still going to be folks like that. So we keep it up. We raise the vibration of the planet, even in this chaotic time. And everybody gets to cross over together. We all get the transition together. Let's pray for that, you know, that some of these folks will just quit being mean. You know, they don't have to necessarily be overly nice, but just quitting being so dad burn mean, you know. So I would love it if a cosmic wave would come by and just calm down some of this meanness. We can still disagree. We don't have to agree on everything. I'm good with that. But can we take this anger and all of this, you know, I want to kill you out of the picture? Yeah. So I'm hoping for a cosmic wave that's its name is going to be Valium. Valium, 20 milligram Valium cosmic ray is going to come through and calm everybody the hell down. Anyway, thank you, my friends. Yep, my 5-minute video turned into 41. So, but I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean it so sincerely from the bottom of my heart, which means down around my ankles. Oh, and my leg's doing much better, thank you. Although my back isn't, but we'll work it out. And Duggar's asleep on my bed over there. I'm going to have to chase him out. But thank you for your prayers and your concern and your love and your kindness. We're going to make it. So until next time, I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive the healing, the knowledge, and the wisdom from the universe. I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you, your friends, your family, all of your relatives, and all of your relations, past, present, and to come, will learn to accept and receive the knowledge, the wisdom, and the healing from the universe. And in the rule of 3, I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to learn how to accept and receive and share the wisdom, the knowledge, and the healing from the universe. Y'all are doing good. Keep up the good work. I'm proud to be your friend. I really, really, and truly am. I am proud to be your friend. So, Brick, thanks as always. Michelle, always, always. Teresa, you know the drill. Delaney and anybody else that I've missed in the background, much love. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Delaney. Until next time, everybody, keep it between the ditches. And TTFN, ta-ta for now. I love you all. Nighty-night.